This is a little bit of a difficult episode to film. It took me a really long time to even muster up the courage to talk about this type of topic because it literally makes my skin crawl. I wanted to start off by giving a little bit of background, and I picked like a serene location because it is a very heavy topic. But growing up, I grew up in like a predominantly white area. It was predominantly white, but we did have like other cultures. There was some black, there was some like black and white, there was a lot of Asian as well. I never really experienced like racism with like the kids in my class. I'm really grateful for that, to be honest. And like I feel like we grew up in like an era of like Family Guy where like that stuff was like, it was almost joked about at those times. But I felt very disconnected from like blackness being in the suburbs. And I remember going, like, my parents took us back to Jamaica every year. I remember going like to predominantly black areas where a lot of my family was, and then I was like some whitewashed chick. I was an Oreo. I was all of these other things. So it's like this energy of like displacement kind of followed me. And it has translated into like my dating life. I wanted to talk a little bit. Sorry, the water sounds like it's coming really close. When I was in the 9th grade, my sister had this friend who had a little brother, and I was crushing on his little brother so hard. I knew that he was going to be like, I was so excited for high school because I'm like, okay, this is my chance. Like, I'm going to be around like more black people, right? Like when I graduated the 8th grade, I was the only black kid in my whole entire class. Like, I was the only black kid. So I always had this yearning like to be around other black people. When I wasn't really fully welcomed. And it's not like a race thing. It's just, this is just my experience. I never really took it as like, I always, like, God just put it in my heart that like, Crystal, it's not you. Like, you're not the problem. You know what I mean? But going to high school, I was like, oh my gosh, like, we're going to be in like the same class. And I remember he used to come over and my sister used to like braid his hair. Like, we would walk together. I'm like, oh my God, like, I thought he was so stunning. He was like such rich, dark skin. Like, and I remember we would only really talk though, like when he would come over or when he would get his, like, he would only really come over to get his hair braided by my sister. But that's like the only time that we would talk. We would talk like if we were in like the car of like someone was dropping us off somewhere. But we never talked at school. And I remember talking to one of his friends like about it. I was like, yo, I have like a really big crush on him. Like, please don't say anything. But what's the deal? And he looked at me and he said, he started laughing first of all. And he was like, Crystal, he likes light-skinned girls. And I was like, what? I'm like, oh, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, he likes white girls? Like, that's what I thought light skin meant at the time. I didn't really know, like, I don't know. I just thought that like light skin to me was like a white person. So I'm like, oh, like he likes white girls. And I'm like, oh, like why didn't he just say that? He's like, no, he not white, like light skin. And I'm like, I don't understand what that means. Like, is it me? I don't understand what that means. And I remember there was a girl who was Jamaican, but she was kind of biracial looking, and he's like that. And I'm like, oh, like mixed? And I'm like, and he's like, no, but she's not mixed. Like, she's just light skin. And I'm like, so like a lighter black person. And he was like, yeah, like he doesn't like dark skinned girls. And I remember being so confused because I'm like, he had a very rich skin tone. Like, he was very dark in complexion. And I'm like, how could he not like dark skinned girls? Like, he's dark. Like, it never made sense to me. And then throughout that year, and this is a long time ago, but this is just like my introduction to it. I remember I had like a summer school class where throughout high school, my first year, I was completely bullied for being like dark skinned. I was called ghetto. I was called I was called ghetto. I was called was told I had an attitude, and honestly, like growing up, I'm like, yo, I didn't even have any of those things. Like, look at these people trying to like put these labels on me, and it didn't. And it was, unfortunately, it was my own people. Like, honestly, I wasn't really bothered by like the other non-black people. Oh, sorry, I thought something was on my arm. The non-black, like, people of color didn't really bother me, to be honest. Like, they didn't. I had like a a white female friend who, she did a lot of like the fighting of my battles. Like, it's interesting because it was like her who came to my aid when a lot of people would make like a comment. She'd be like, shut the F up. Like, she would like really give it to them. I'm sorry, it's just a difficult like topic to talk about. But I remember I had a situation where I was in like a high school class, and there was another beautiful, rich in complexion, like tall. He was probably like 6'4", like chocolate brother. Okay. And I remember he would be in the class with me, and he would like, he wouldn't really talk to me, but he would talk to like the like Latina looking girls, the like Arabic looking girls, like and they had like the dressing down, like they were very immersed in black culture. And I just remember hearing him like say things to them like, oh, like, I don't want no black this, I don't want no nappy headed kids, I don't want this. Like, he would say so many like self-hating things, to be honest, because he was also like, the stuff that he was talking about is what he hated, essentially. Because he would say like, I remember him talking to them and saying stuff like, oh, I don't want no dark-skinned girl, like, I love me insert race here, like everything under the sun other than black. And I remember like he just made all these like horrific, honestly, comments about like black women in general. And I remember this was just my experience for that entire year. And I remember like crying to my mom, like going home crying to my mom and like begging her to transfer schools, because I'm like, Mom, I can't. And she was like, Crystal, what's going on? And I remember this, when I met the second young man, we were all the same age. We were in summer school. And I remember going for lunch one day by myself, because I'm like, I don't even want to be at school right now. It was every day, like every single day. And I never said a word. He was just like talking about black women and saying this and saying he hates ghetto girls and he hates this. And he's like, oh, all dark-skinned black girls have an attitude. I'd rather be with an ugly light-skinned girl than a pretty dark-skinned girl. Like, it was so horrific. Like, I can't even say half of it, because it was just difficult to listen to even stay there. Because I just told myself, you know what, like, it took a lot of restraint. I was like, you know what, he's not talking to me. He's just not talking to me. And I remember going out for lunch one day, and going on the way to the restaurant, like where I was walking, there was like an older man. I could tell he was Jamaican. He's like, oh, where your parents come from? He's trying to talk to me. And I'm like, yo, stranger danger. But he's like, you know, my nephew would love you. You're such a pretty young girl. And to be honest, that age, I didn't really feel it, because I just was not, I guess, the type that was in, I'll say, or I was made to feel that way. Right. And I was like, oh, okay. So walking back, I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I'm like entertaining him, because I'm like, yo, stranger danger, I'm scared. I'm just going to talk to him, and like, I'll go. And then on my way back, I remember his nephew was actually there. And he was a young Jamaican guy. He was like 1 year older than me. He was really like, a lot of people said he looked like Derrick Rose. That's like the best way to like describe him. He was like Blasian kind of looking. And I'm not against like any sort of look. Like, I love my melanin, period. Any shade of it, I feel like we're such a like beautiful, diverse group of people. And I remember he got out the truck and he was talking to me. And I remember being so stunned, because I'm like, this whole year I've had like men of my own like ethnicity just beating down on me, and it was difficult. And I remember when he was talking to me, I was just stunned the whole time, and he's like, can I have your number? And so I took out my phone, and I was like, I was literally like this. I was like, I took out my phone to give him my number. And as we're exchanging numbers, the guys that were in my summer school class were passing by. And I could hear them just saying stuff, and he was looking at me. He's like, ignore them. And I was like, what the heck is happening right now? So I got back in class, and I was like, oh my God, like he was such a beautiful person, honestly. Like, that was my first boyfriend ever. But I remember when I got back into class, the young guy who every day was like making all of these comments was like, oh, like you only like light-skinned guys, like, and I was like, I'm like, Crystal, don't say anything. Crystal, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. You're a child of God. Like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. And I was like, what the F is your problem? It was so bad because I'm like, day in and day out, all you do is talk your ish. I'm like, what is your problem? I'm like, bro, what's your deal? Like, what's your deal? I'm like, why does this even bother you? Like, you were never checking for me. Like, you were never saying anything. Like, so I don't really get it. Hi. On TikTok? No, I make YouTube videos. Yeah. Can I turn it off? No, is it still running? Yeah, it's still going. Debbie D is in the house. Hi, Debbie D. Hey, Debbie D. Check out my YouTube video. Yeah, what's your YouTube? Well, I'm a musician. Oh, you're a musician. Deb and the Boys. Deb and the Boys? Yeah. I'll take a look. What's your dog's name? Max. Hi, Max. Oh, so cute. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you. I'll check you out. What's your name? It's the Sistar Club, but it's like Sistar. Oh, cool. The Sistar Club. Yeah, thank you. Well, sister, you have a good day. You too. Take care. God is so beautiful. Like, God is so beautiful. Like, I have encounters like this all the time now. With people of all races. I don't even remember where I was in the story. But yeah, I started freaking out on him, and I remember I grabbed my stuff and I left class, and he followed me, and he was like, he's like, oh, I was just joking. And I was like, yo, I don't joke like that. Like, that's not funny to me. Like, saying cruel things for months, weeks on end is funny to you? Like, it really bothered me, especially because I mind my business. Like, I literally, the way I mind my business, like, it really bothered me. And I remembered, I don't even remember where we were at that point, but I just remember sitting down and like, I just needed to walk it off. And I got back to class, and he was like, do you know why I say the things that I say? Like, I literally was like this. I'm like, I couldn't even look at him. Like, he just saw my side. I couldn't even look at him because I was so disgusted, to be honest with you. And he's like, the reason why I say the things that I say is because, like, my dad, like, he was really rich in skin tone. Like, my assumption, like, you can mix black and you can get any range of complexions. And he told me that. So I assumed that, like, both of his parents were dark. And I'm like, if you could talk about, like, black people like that, like, you hate yourself, you hate your parents, like, that's not it. And I thank God for having the ability to understand that at a young age. But he's like, oh, my dad had my mom, and he's like, you know, my parents were together, and my mom is black. And I'm like, honestly, I was like, I don't care. I don't even care. But like, something in my spirit was like, Crystal, just like, it must have been the Holy Spirit. Honestly, it was like, Crystal, just calm down and hear him out. But I was quiet. Like, I was literally fuming, but I was so quiet. And he was like, he's like, my dad treated her badly and left her and is with a white woman now. And to be honest, I still kind of feel the same way, where I'm just like, okay. But I didn't say anything. Like, I literally felt like God's presence wash over me. I was like, just listen. And he was like, I have mixed brothers and sisters now, and they're treated so much better than me. And I remember just being like, okay. And I was just listening to him, but I'm like, you don't understand that I'm going through the same thing too. Like, I have lighter complexions siblings that are treated better. We're going through the same thing. And I never told him that because I didn't feel safe around him, like emotionally safe around him. And I looked at him and I said, that has nothing to do with me. I could have cursed him out. I had every right to curse him out and say a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm like, you know what? I would turn into the type of person that I personally don't like. So that whole year was my introduction to colorism. And I've despised it ever since then. Moving forward, like, I'm 30 now, and I don't think that I tried to kind of bring it up in therapy, and like my therapist was like, that's so stupid. Like, I had to kind of, he was like an older white man and I love him so much, but it was difficult to talk about because I'm like, okay, he might not fully understand like what I'm talking about. And I don't think he did, but I had to explain colorism to him. And I was like, I basically just tried to say like, it's almost like the closer you are to whiteness, the better you're treated. And I was telling him like, but like, I've also been treated like not just badly by like white people, which people expect, right? Like, I've experienced racism, of course, but I had to let him know like, it's my own people too. And he was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, not that he was like, oh, like what you're saying is stupid, your experiences is stupid. It was more like he was saying like, it was more like he was saying like, their reasoning is so stupid. Like, it's so stupid. So I honestly still to this day don't really feel like I've fully worked it out, but I feel very conflicted because I entered like the new age. This bird is annoying me. I entered the new age, I would say, through a lot of things, through like wanting to learn about my ancestry, but also through like pro-black like stuff. And I'm like, I fought so hard for black men, like, and I still do. And I'm like, yo, am I making a mistake? But it's like, I'm 30 now, and I feel like I reserved myself for the sake of like pro-blackness. I feel like I reserved myself for a group of men that have made it abundantly clear that I'm not their type. And I don't know if I'm not their type is the right word, but it's like, I feel like it's been beaten into me, and I'm like, all I've ever done was mind my business. And to be honest with you, it hasn't just been like dark skinned men. Like, I've had mixed guys that have talked to me like they're doing me a favor. Like, you should be lucky, you should be happy that like I'm looking at you type energy. And I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you guys? But like, I remember I went to a party, and like, just it continued throughout high school. Like, I remember going to a party once, and I had like blonde hair. Like, one thing about me, I've always loved hair. Like, I had blonde like ends, like, that like that snooky, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture, but that snooky like is like black on top and then like blonde hair. And this guy was like, okay, Duracell battery, and like everyone was laughing at me, like literally everyone. Like, it was mostly like this group of people that wanted me around literally to bully me. It was comprised of like Caribbeans, right? Mostly. And you know what's crazy? He has no hair now. Like, he has no hair now. And it's like, you were over like years ago. Like, he lost his hair in his 20s. Like, like early 20s, like I would probably say like 22. He had like no hair, like his hairline was like way back. And I'm not even trying to say that to be funny, but it's like God will get the karma for you, because he tried to bully me so badly. Anytime they would literally invite me around to bully me, just my own people, to be honest. Like a lot of the comments would, like, I've been called like a roach, all because of a guy wanted me over a light-skinned girl. She ended up calling me a roach. um like, it's so ridiculous. But yeah, I'm kind of conflicted. Like, I'm like, and I don't think that changing race in terms of like dating would really help. But I just wanted to, maybe this is like a part one, I just wanted to tell my story in terms of like what I've experienced, like the treatment that I've had. I'm still very traumatized. I'm still very traumatized, and it's something that I'm working through, and it's something that I'm proud to say that I'm working through. This time around, I'm tapped in with God. You know, I have my eyes on Him, and it's just something that I'm working through. Now, I guess for part two, what I want to talk about is the black man versus the black woman. I don't think there should be any verses at all, but I just wanted to kind of dive in. There's a lot of research that I've done in the field, and also just in conversation as well. There's a lot that I want to talk about in terms of there should be no verses. In the eyes of God, we're all under Him. So we're all equal. There's a bigger problem at hand. It's not man versus woman. It's not, gender wars. It's not all these political stances that people have of what right and wrong is, when none of us can say what right and wrong is, when God is the ultimate creator and decider and king of judgment. I'm not here to make excuses for colorism. I'm not here to bash even the people who have, given me those experiences. I pray for those people. I didn't pray for them in the time when it happened, but I do pray for them now. It's a hateful stance to have, right? I love dark-skinned men. I love light-skinned men. I love everybody in between. But I do think that this is more... It's a global problem, but it's very prevalent in the West. The people that I've dated in this lifetime that have treated me the best were literally like living in Canada, but were foreign. Like, they were foreign to Canada, and it's because it's something that existed where they lived, but it wasn't as horrific as it is here, because it is horrific. Now, as I said, I'm not here to make excuses, but if you are a dark-skinned queen like myself, I can only talk about my experience, and I can only talk about the experience of people that I've literally interviewed, that I've had to go out into the field, and I went so deep with this. I've even written papers so far, and one of the things that I want to say is that Black men are going through a lot. It shouldn't have to be said, but I'm going to say it because Black men are going through a lot. And that's not to minimize that Black women like myself are also always going through a lot. Black men are often taught to hide their emotions. They're not allowed to express their emotions. Men in general are not allowed to express their emotions. And that causes a lot of buildup. And I think it's a proximity thing where Black women get the brunt of it. Men in general don't really have places to express themselves, and with Black men there's an extra layer of masculinity that society expects them to have. Like, if they do certain things, they're of the community, right? So that's just one quick topic that I wanted to touch on. Obviously, stuff like police brutality and criminalization is very prevalent in our community. We're literally targeted. Two men of different races can do the same crime, and the punishment is totally uncalled for. And having to step out every day as a Black man, obviously I'm not a Black man, but just in talking to the ones in my life, having to step out every day knowing that something bad could happen to you and there would be no justice is like a heavy weight on the mind, body, and soul. It's not an excuse again, but it's difficult to just say I hate this type of man, blah 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 blah. To be honest, like in today's day, like men who are colorist have no place in my life. Like I picture my life as like I'm the main star and they don't get casted. Like racist people in my life do not get casted. Colorist people in my life do not get casted. I give them nothing. Like I give them nothing. I've endured so much in that realm that it's just not something that I'm willing to journey with anyone on anymore. I'm not even really having discussions about it anymore because people will gaslight you like, oh, it's not because of that. Yes, it is. It's because they're colorist. The problem is not with me being black. The problem is not with me being dark skinned. The problem is colorism. But yeah, that's one of the things. Another thing that, like, for example, you have some men who are like, oh, I hate dating black women. I hate this. I hate that. There are two very interesting places that I think that this comes from. And obviously there's always exceptions to the rule. Number one is that they hate their mom. I want to let that sink in for a minute because a lot of people immediately are going to be like, how could you hate your mom? She gave birth to you. No, they hate their mom because they hate their dad. We talk a lot about like fatherlessness in our community. And this is in every community, but I remember being one of the only black families growing up, and like my dad was one of the only ones to physically be in the home. And obviously black fathers do exist. Black fathers are in the home, and it's in greater numbers than it's ever been before. And I'm really proud of black men for that. However, growing up, I don't know what it's like to grow up without my father, but I have a lot of friends who do. And this is just based off of the men that I know who are like, yo, they only have dated like white passing women, or just like exotic quote unquote looking women. And they've told me that like I've noticed a pattern of them not having like a dad physically present. And I believe that they hate their mom for having not chose correctly, I want to say, because I don't think anyone can do anything 100% right, but I think that they hate their mom for it. And I think that I find a lot of black mothers, like, I know there's a lot of jokes online where people are like, yo, where's the academy where they learned how to like throw the slipper and all that stuff? But one thing that I've noticed about a lot of black moms is that and obviously there's always exceptions to the rule. This is not every single black mom in the world, but a lot of black mothers are like very nitpicky. Like, you have to be perfect. You have to be twice as this. So you have to do, like, there's so much pressure on black children. And I feel like young black men, if they didn't have a father in the home, there's a lot more pressure on them. And I feel like they hate that their moms for that. They hate their moms for having put that pressure on them. They felt like they just wanted to be kids, and that these things should have never been like placed upon them. The second place where this comes from, where you hear a man say that they hate black women, is that they're battling with their sexuality. A lot of DL black men in particular hate black women. I can't even begin to tell you where this research came from. I can't begin to tell you how I found this out, but it is a pattern. It is a pattern. And I think that a lot of like DL guys know that. All right, I'll give you a situation. I was working downtown, 3 people. It was me, another black guy, a white girl, and an Asian girl. And we all went out to eat after, and they looked at me and they were like I know that he's G of the LGBT, and they looked at me and they were like, Crystal, is he? And I'm like, are you guys serious? Is he what? I'm like, you have to ask. Like, obviously, I never want to assume anyone's, sexual identity, because we don't know what people are doing when the doors close. But I'm looking at them and I'm like, are you guys serious? Like, you guys don't know that he is? So I think that a lot of men who are in our community who struggle with their sexuality hate black women, because we see it right away. My gaydar has never ever been wrong, not with women, not with men. And I think that it can go either way, right? If they're out and they're proud, black women love gay men, right? I think black women are very welcoming and loving towards gay men, but when they're down low and they hate themselves because of their sexuality and they know that they can't come out because of what their family's going to say and blah 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 blah, a lot of the times we're directing hate to the wrong people when we need to go to therapy and talk it out. A couple years ago, I went to an event that was like called Black Love, and it was about like it was called Can We Talk, and it was about black love, and we were all talking about it, because I'm like, I'm gonna find my black king. I don't know where he's at. If you're here, come and find me. But I went to it by myself, and I was listening to a lot of the men talk, and they were like talking about finances, and they were saying that like a lot of black women are like, oh, like they come home from work at like a racist corporation, and then they come home and they talk to black women, and they're like their black wife or their black girlfriend, whatever, and she's just kind of like, do more. And they're like, yo, but it's hard. And there was another conversation that night about like black women being gold diggers. Like it's so stupid to say this stuff out loud, because it's like, yo, we should be on the same team, but there was talk about like black women being gold diggers, and in certain community, like we're the only community where we're called gold diggers, and it's not normal to provide and protect. Like there's a fight to provide and protect black women. And they were just talking about like the financial differences between like different groups of men. I was like, because I'm just trying to hear. I want to hear what people's thoughts are at. And that was one of the conversations. They were like talking about like how it's difficult, like financially, like for them to get jobs, for them to, when they get the job, for them to climb the ladder. It's difficult. Like they were saying, there's so much like daily micro and macro aggressions. And to be honest, I feel like a lot of this is just kind of pumped back into the community, like through the music, through everything, through the shows. I'm like, yo, we should be on the same team. Like, why are we fighting? Like, these other races are like killing it, succeeding together, living more fulfilling lives than us. Like, why can't we get there? Physical slavery is over, but mental and emotional slavery is not. This stuff is still very prevalent. It's still very prevalent in our community. And people say to get over slavery, but it's like every day there's some of us who are literally living still under it. I encounter so many, I know Uncle Tom's not the right word, but I have encountered so many Uncle Toms in my life. I'm like, yo, I'm exhausted. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that black women go through growing up as well. We're conditioned to believe that trauma and struggle love and all of this pain is our burden to carry. I don't think that black women should have to go through jumping through hoops and doing things that other women of other ethnic groups are not doing. I don't think it's our responsibility anymore. I'm done fighting. I'm only fighting. Like, it's September right now, and I already know what my New Year's resolution for 2026 is, and it's to stop begging for love. And I'm stopping begging for love. Love is free. Love is free. Love is free. Love is abundant. Why am I begging for love for? I'm not doing that. I'm done doing that. I don't care if you're family. I don't care if you're a friend. I don't care if you're a potential lover. No more begging for love. And no more carrying everyone else's burden. For the young black girl, older black girl who's listening to this, no more of that. No more begging for love, and no more carrying things that do not belong to you. Pray it away, honestly. Ask God to take it off of you. A lot of people would look at me and tell me I'm wearing a wig, I must hate myself when my hair is down to here. I don't know who has the energy to do it, but I'm not doing it. I do hair day in and day out. I have an appointment after this. A lot of people would accuse me of having like Eurocentric beauty standards and all of these things. Like, in short, there are going to be people who are racist. There are going to be people who are colorist. There are going to be people who believe that the closer you are to whiteness, the more beautiful you are. And all of it is a lie. All of it is a lie that the devil introduced to you and you took the bait. It's fake. It's not real. When we all leave these bodies are literally temporary. When we all leave these bodies, we're going to be in front of the Most High. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about none of this crap on earth anymore. I really am not, honestly. Whew. Getting heated, yo. And honestly, if you're dating right now and people are telling you to branch off into different races and different ethnicities and stuff like that, I'm not going to say that they're wrong, but I'm just going to say that being with another man who's not black is not going to fix these problems. These are things that you need to fix first and work through the trauma. And like, honestly, yo, I only even started believing, like, I went to therapy in 2020. I went to therapy when I was 19, but I also went again when in like 2022. And later that year is when I realized that I was actually pretty. Like, that was the year that I realized that I was actually pretty. I was talking to one of my guy friends and I was telling him about some of the situations that I've been through, some of the ones that I just talked about. I remember there was like a guy who liked me and we just thought each other was cute at the party. And this girl was like, oh, I didn't know that, insert his name here, liked roaches. And he was like, Crystal, this is ridiculous. He was like, Crystal, he's like, do you know why that happened? He's like, Crystal, you're effing stunning. Do you not see that? And I was like, huh? Like, like I didn't think that other people saw me as beautiful. I just kind of was like, you know what? I'm just going to be happy. I'm going to choose to be happy. I'm going to choose to be myself, my funny, quirky little self. I'm going to choose to be me, and whoever doesn't like it, like, you don't have to be around me. It's simple. That's coffee. I'm tea. Simple. Another thing that a lot of us have to work through is the feeling of being not protected, walking through the world every day feeling like you're not protected is very difficult. And this is the thing about colorism is that we're going through the exact same thing. If you take a mixed woman and a mixed man, they're going to have very similar experiences in terms of their lived experiences and what they've been through, right? Or there could be polar opposites. And if you take two dark-skinned people, they're gonna have similar experiences. If you take a man and a woman, when I talk to dark-skinned men, I'm like, yo, we've gone through the same thing. Like, why do you hate me? I don't hate you. I never hated you. I never preferred this over that. I got more love from one for sure, but I never hated you. I hate colorism. I don't hate you though. So there's a lot of mistrust and emotional walls built up high, sky high in our community. There's a lot of resentment. There's a lot of black women feeling forced into doing certain things and feeling like we have to take on certain things and just piling it on. Like, we're just piling it on each other. I'm like, oh, more dog poop. Okay, pile it on, guys. Come on, bring the truck. We're just piling it on each other when everybody's hurting. Like, this is why I went into psychology, because I'm like, yo, the black race needs to fix itself. Like, are we gonna extinct ourselves? Like, what's going on? We need some serious healing. Division on all levels is just it's not right. I think it's more of a time where we need to really start building the community and promote community healing, because everyone else has a village. Everyone else supports each other's businesses. The black dollar is the most powerful in North America. And here we are. Honestly, guys, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I think we need more examples of healthy relationships. I think more of us need to go to therapy. I think we need to change the media. We need to change the music. I think it's time that we honestly just stop further dividing each other. It hurts. I'll be the first one to say it. It's hurtful. It's hurtful. Honestly, I came to the beach. I was like, you know what, let me just flow with this. I hope that this touched you. I hope that if you are light-skinned, dark-skinned, beautiful black woman, I just want you to know that this is not your responsibility. You can't be responsible for other people's traumas and the experiences that you've been through. And you know, it's not easy for the other side. It's not easy for like biracial light-skinned people either. There's just so many layers to us, and it's time that we just start embracing that beauty of our community and loving each other properly. We're gonna be left behind. Like, we're literally getting left behind. There's so many things, there's so many financial market things that we get left behind with because we can't even sit down and unite. There's so many things that our future children won't get access to if we can't get it together. Every time that there's a Black Wall Street, anytime that there's anything Black community or Black leaders, look what they do to them. There's power in Blackness. We all just have to tap in. If this conversation touched you, or you want to share your own story, I'm going to put my email in the caption. Please reach out. Please get help if this is something that you're dealing with, because it's a programming and you need to be deprogrammed. You need to decolonize your mind. And if you're on that journey, I want to wish you well. And if you're not, I pray to God that you start one day. You start that healing process. I'm gonna end the video now because I have a client. I'm about to be late, and this is a good place. I think this is a good place to end off. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for existing. Take care.